I'm Bhanu Sridharan and I'm a senior reporter at Citizen Matters, Bengaluru. I'm here to tell you about a 4-lane expressway that might come through the Bannerghatta National Park. The National Highways Authority of India is planning to build a 4-lane expressway through the Bannerghatta National Park, one of the few protected areas left within Bengaluru urban district. The road, which is part of the Bharatmala Pariyojana scheme, will connect towns like Hosur in Tamil Nadu to satellite towns around Bengaluru like Anekal, Sarjapura and Doddaballapura. And a 3.85 kilometer stretch of this expressway will cut through Banerghatta National Park. The expressway is intended to divert commercial traffic like trucks that currently pass through Bengaluru city to reach these towns. Bannerghatta National Park is located in south of Bengaluru city. It's one of the smallest protected areas at approximately 260 square kilometers. Bannerghatta is home to several endangered mammals including elephants, leopards, gaur, wild dogs, cheetal, sambar and slender lorises. The park even boasts of 2 tigers as of 2023, making Bengaluru the only metropolitan city in the world to have tigers within its limits. NHAI is planning to build 3.85 kilometers of this expressway through the core zone of the national park and approximately 2 kilometers through the eco-sensitive zone or the buffer zone of the national park. This will require the diversion of 11 hectares of forest from the core zone and about 5.7 hectares of forest from the buffer zone of the park. The project has already been cleared by the Ministry for Environment, Forests and Climate Change and the National Wildlife Board. It is only waiting for clearance from the Forest Advisory Committee at this point.
Banerghatta is already a very linear wildlife habitat. At some stretches, it's so narrow, it's only about 100-150 meters of forest habitat available for wildlife, especially for large mammals like elephants. Several parts of Banerghatta is already being used for zoo, for tourism purposes. There's a resort, there is safari happening, and so many other activities within the national park itself. Like if it was 1,000 or 1,500 square kilometers, yes, I think we could have said, okay, a small portion of it can be utilized for constructing an elevated highway. Banerghatta is only 260 square kilometers, especially when you consider that you have species like elephants, which are landscape animals. They move over vast areas for their resource requirement and also for mating, especially the bulls.
Banerghatta is part of the Nilgiris Eastern Ghats elephant landscape. This is an approximately 12,000 square kilometer area through which elephants move every year. Losing this land will only push elephants further into fields and farms, creating conflicts in other areas.
The indirect impacts of such development is borne by communities which are actually marginal, which are dependent on land for their livelihood, like farmers around Banerghatta National Park. And Banerghatta is one of the hotspots of human-elephant conflicts in Karnataka.
But NHAI's justification is that the project will decongest Bengaluru and reduce pollution within the city.
So somebody else is bearing the cost of convenience for other people. You know, it's the convenience for Bangaloreans, it's the convenience for city dwellers, but the cost is borne by somebody else. And we keep shifting this cost from one area to another area.
The Environment Ministry cleared the project under the condition that the expressway will become an elevated flyover with a minimum height of 10 meters within the national park. Interestingly, according to the minutes of the meeting of the National Wildlife Board, which was considering the proposal, NHAI has only committed to a 9-meter height for this expressway.
As you know very well, how Nice Road is already congested. This peripheral ring road will also be extremely congested. And that's certainly going to impact wildlife in so many different manners. We only think wildlife being disturbed when a vehicle is passing and the animal cannot move from one side of the road to the other side. That's a very naive understanding because it's very visual. We know and we can see that activity happening. That's why we think that's the only disturbance. But when you look at the ecology of the animal, there are a lot more disturbances that happen, and we do not understand these things and we do not take into consideration.
And it's not just wildlife biologists who are worried about the impacts of this project. Many Bengalurians are objecting to this proposal. There is also an online petition to realign the road route.
So we began this campaign because we felt that Bangalore has already lost considerable green cover in the past 4 decades, and the mere construction itself would hinder the free movement of animals. So what we are technically doing is that snatching that habitat from the wildlife, and then we complain of encroachment by the wildlife in our urban areas. Through the petition as a medium, we have garnered over 13,000 signatures. Like 13,000 people are currently supporting us in this. We've set ourselves a target of 20,000 people to support us, because that's when we are taking this petition and delivering these signatures to the Forest Advisory Committee.
And as for us Bangaloreans, we do have a question to answer. Can we afford to lose more green cover and natural spaces for infrastructure?
If you allow this to happen now, you don't know what all might happen in the future, and eventually you will become like this concrete jungle that is, no fresh air, no greenery around, etc. And that's not the future that people want.
So it's a time where Bangaloreans, the government, everyone have to think seriously that should we prioritize development even in places like Banerghatta National Park? Yes, we need development. There's no doubt about it. But I think it's a time where we need to create zones where development takes priority, and some zones where nature takes priority. And in my opinion, strongly, I feel Banerghatta National Park should be for wildlife and not truly for developmental activity.